back to Sam Seder.
On the phone, it's a pleasure to welcome to the program Rick Perlstein, Senior Fellow at Campaign for America's Future. He's got a blog over there called The Big Con. You can also check out rickperlstein.org. Rick, welcome to the program.
Great to be at my new Sunday place of worship.
Oh, very good. I love it. Now, I love your blog over the Big Con. This one was, wow. This story is just unbelievable.
I know.
Tell us about it.
Well, what I'm going to do is I came across this teeny little AP story. It's very tiny, seven paragraphs. That's the only reason I knew about it. A friend of mine emailed it to me. I'll read just 4 paragraphs of this story. You got to hear it, in its kind of unvarnished, kind of straight glory. Mm-hmm. Right. Dateline, Washington. The Bush administration said Tuesday it will fight to keep meat packers from testing all their animals for mad cow disease.
Yeah.
Next. This is not the Onion, this is the AP. The U.S. Department of Agriculture tests less than 1% of slaughtered cows for the disease, which can be fatal to humans who eat tainted beef. But Arkansas City-based Creekstone Farms Premium Beef wants to test all its cows. Larger meat companies feared the move because if Creekstone tested its meat and advertised it as safe, they might have to perform the expensive test too. And then finally, the Agriculture Department argued that widespread testing could lead to false positives that would harm the meat industry.
You know what I hate about government is their interference in the marketplace. What happened to the free market?
Yes.
This is an astonishing story in so many different ways it makes my head spin. Now, aside from the fact that I've heard that E. coli can help you lose a lot of weight, but it's not necessarily a good thing for you, is it?
Well, this is mad cow, which is even worse.
Right. Exactly.
E. coli only kills like old people and children, but mad cow, basically kills you dead, 100% of the time.
All right, so we don't want the mad cow disease.
You would think. But also we don't want to hurt the beef industry.
That's right. So we have a company that actually wants to test their beef because they feel it could be a selling point, and they don't want to be responsible for killing it.
It's the free market at work. This is the conservatives claim, right? They claim that regulation is bad and that companies should be able to voluntarily regulate themselves. Well, here's the company that goes and does it, and what happens?
Well, you got the government saying you cannot have that
you cannot police yourselves.
This is so astonishing. It's indicative of exactly what it means to be a so-called conservative when you control the levers of government.
Yeah, it basically, there's no principle involved. It's only, I'm going to scratch the back of my buddies. And, it was a teeny little article, like I say. I just happened to run across it. Truly a tip of the iceberg kind of situation. If I had missed it, this could be, one of these things that in its way is as big as the Attorney General firings, it could be as big as Abu Ghraib, it could be as big as all kinds of stuff. How many of these things, Sam, are going under the radar? You know what I'm saying? This is a little 7-paragraph AP article that I happened to catch and happened to be able to bring attention to. But had I missed it, it wouldn't have been discussed all over the place, and we wouldn't know. And
it is astonishing as to why we have Sunday morning shows. Why didn't
why not? What could be bigger?
The Pumpkinhead, what's his name again? Tim Russert.
Tim Russert.
Instead of
who's never been a member of the press in his life.
Instead of bringing onto his program some tired old political hacks who are there to either shill for a book or press some type of agenda, why not bring on the Bush administration and ask them, why are you fighting so hard against testing?
Yeah, and you want to know why? It didn't take me much investigation that the media isn't doing. You know why they're fighting against testing?
No.
It took a little bit of Googling, just a little bit, for me to learn that Creekstone Farm has been able to export its beef to Japan because Japan requires mad cow testing. And by doing this, what Creekstone Farms is doing and why they're pissing off, the big guys, the big kind of agribusiness combines, is they want to basically force Japan to change their policy. They want them to have the same kind of principles of E. coli conservatism, which is, no regulation of food safety at all, that we have here in the United States. And this little piddling Creekstone Farms, by testing all their beef and getting to basically, do we have a trade deficit in America?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. By doing their part to actually export a quality product to the rest of the world is basically queering the sale of the big agribusiness companies. So there's nothing in here about that. right? But that's basically what I suspect is behind it.
Now, are you telling me that, Rick, now what is this Google thing that you talk of? Are you using some form of computer to find this information?
I use a computing device.
Now, this must not be available to our corporate press because, of course, you must have some type of special Super X11 computer to find this.
They have their own version of Google. It's called Georgetown.
Yeah, exactly. Or Drudge, I guess.
It's Georgetown or Drudge, and it's where like people who smell like them, look like them, taste like them, tell them what it is that they should believe.
Well, this is indicative of conservative governance, isn't it? I mean, it's all for the corporation, and if they're not actively stopping companies from keeping us safe, they are gutting regulations and not allowing our government agencies to do that.
Right. I mean, there's really no such thing as conservative government, right? Because ultimately, conservatives come to power by saying that they hate government, right? And letting people who say they hate the thing they're trying to run that thing is, pretty fundamentally insane.
I'll tell you, that's my theory as to why you have so many ethical and legal violations by sitting Republican congressmen, is because, frankly, if they don't believe in the regulations that government puts out, the laws to protect people, why should they have any more respect for the laws about how you're supposed to conduct yourself in the public sphere?
Right. I mean, that's exactly what kind of the Monica Goodling thing is ultimately about. If you don't believe in things like the civil service system, the idea that you can have disinterested tests for who's qualified for a job, because that's a big government thing, that's a liberal thing, how can you possibly, have any criterion for hiring and firing other than political loyalty?
Rick, what do you suggest that people do with this story? I mean, is this one of those things that should be sent around in an email or something?
Sure. I mean, well, first of all, of course, they should go to my blog daily,
right, of course.
ourfuture.org/thebigcon. And what I try and do, actually, is specifically write things on the blog that people can send to their conservative or apolitical friends and relatives. Now, none of us have conservative friends anymore because none of us are speaking to conservatives anymore, right? But I try to find sort of these gut-level issues that might just break people out of their spell.
Well,
so I would say, Google, send it to your conservative Aunt Millie and see what she says.
Yeah, the best thing to do is try and get on like somebody's email list who sends out all these conservative stuff, and then slowly start to reply to all with your own stories.
Exactly it. Yeah. That's
all right.
Exactly it.
Well, Rick, thank you so much. We'll have you back on again soon. This is a great story, and thank you for having such an eagle eye and catching it for us.
Thanks, Sam.